It's Christmas Eve. Time to look under the tree and see what 2026 could bring in Nebraska sports.
You are Locked On Nebraska, your daily Nebraska Cornhuskers podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, and thanks for making Locked On Nebraska your first listen every day. We are free and available wherever you get podcasts and on YouTube, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, the #1 sports podcast network, your team every day. And today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. If you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bets right now.
All right, welcome. Here we are. It is Christmas Eve here on the Locked On Nebraska podcast. I'm Connor Happer, Mitch Sherman here as well. Merry Christmas to everybody. We won't have an episode tomorrow on Christmas. There you go. Let's get festive with it. But throughout this kind of holiday time, I mean, tomorrow might be our only day off. We'll see. We'll keep you updated into next week. But we have gifts that we are going to give to various people, various entities throughout Nebraska athletics, mostly Nebraska football. And some of them are actual tangible things that are possible. And some of them are fake and made up and completely illogical. So I can't wait to give these gifts.
So for the past month in the state of Nebraska sports, we've been discussing what Nebraska does not have. This has been a trend. It doesn't have a win against Penn State or Iowa. It doesn't have a chance at a 9-win season. It doesn't have a defensive coordinator, offensive or defensive line coach, at least those who began the 2025 season. Some of those positions have been filled. The Huskers do not have a 5-star quarterback who signed with them 2 years ago. They don't have Emmett Johnson any longer to marvel at or watch in a Nebraska uniform. He's gone as soon as he earned first-team status. Some might say that Nebraska does not have a chance to win next week, a week from today, December 31st, in the Las Vegas Bowl against Utah. And we've been talking about that for a month. So this show is going to be devoted to our wishes for what Nebraska does have in the new year, if that makes any sense.
What they should have, what we're wishing upon them, right?
We wish for them to have.
Yes. Yeah.
Maybe it's not everything that they already have. No,
Yeah.
That would be a misnomer.
You'll
What
get
we
it.
wish for them to have.
You'll get it. If we're not so good at explaining it, but you'll get it as we go along. It's not that hard to follow along with. All right. Would you like to give out the first gift, Mitch? You're the forefather of this podcast. You can give away the first gift.
Yeah. So I'm going to start at the top of the Nebraska athletic department, and the man who runs the business side of things and hires the coaches and makes important decisions, Troy Dannen. My gift for Troy Dannen is a new billionaire friend. Maybe it's someone who won the lottery in Nebraska or a far off state and realizes that his or her passion is to support Nebraska's effort to build the best roster in college sports, college football, to fill all of the gaps that Troy Dannen might have in turning Memorial Stadium into the venue that he envisions and that Nebraska football needs. A billionaire friend for Troy Dannen.
What kind of gift giver are you, Mitch? Are you like a let's seek what they need, what I think they need, or are you like this is kind of how I approach it. Like, I want to buy people stuff around this time or get people stuff that they would never buy for themselves in a million years, right? Like these like, oh, this is actually a great gift because I would have never done this for myself. It's not a need necessarily. It's a luxury.
Yeah, that's a great question. And I think that I try to fall into the category of giving gifts, like you said, that people would not get for themselves. And I feel like in about 2 hours here, as we tape this podcast on Christmas Eve morning, I'm very hopeful that I'll be giving one of those gifts. And what else? The other thing I strive for is to make it a surprise. So
Good.
Give the gift that someone is not looking for at the time that they're not expecting to get it. So I believe that I have one of those planned out for a member of my family this morning. We're going to be exchanging some gifts this morning before we re-immerse ourselves into full-on multi-generational holiday family craziness and fun, which is going to take place with my wife's extended family over the next 36 or so hours. It has already been 2 days of fun here around the Shermans, but I'm coming to you right now from this podcast area that has been turned into essentially a collection of trash from celebration that occurred at our house last night. So yes, my type of gift giving, if it works best in planning and production, is to make it a surprise and something that the gift receiver is not expecting.
Yeah, that's the idea. That's always the idea. Now, we don't always get there, but that's usually the idea. All right, so with that in mind, I have one here for Matt Rhule. I don't know that he wants this, but I think he could benefit quite a lot from it. So I'm getting Matt Rhule some special magical goggles that somehow block him from seeing the stuff that like we say on podcasts or various radio shows or in print or whatever it might be, you know, or whoever is telling him these things, that person like doesn't exist anymore, something like that. And the special feature of these goggles, they have there's great technology out there these days. Special feature is that they also like prevent him from caring about what the program looks like from the outside. Look, you know, so maybe as a result of having these goggles, he won't like, you know, go on McAfee every week or, you know, whatever it might be. Maybe maybe it would do that. Maybe he will still do the McAfee show after having the goggles, but maybe the goggles will give him a new perspective.
We're hoping for Matt Rhule to have more tunnel vision. Is that what you could put it that way?
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah.
That's a very good one. I like that. Sometimes the head coach of Nebraska football tends to be hyper aware of all that's around him, and it could be to his benefit in 2026 if he is not.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have for Rhule.
I do have one for Rhule. I have a customized hat for him to wear at practice when he coaches the defensive tackles.
Oh, so he has a hat and goggles. This is great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He doesn't just have to take his Nebraska camo hat and turn it around backwards. In fact, this is not even a hat with a bill. It's like one of those hats that just is the same in the front and the back. It's like a round hat, and you put it on, and it has some kind of a blue collarish look. It's probably black, considering that Rhule wants to be taking part in coaching the defensive side of the football, in particular the part of the defensive line. And I want a schedule that allows him to devote 90 minutes per week on Tuesday or Wednesday to getting down and dirty with those big guys. Yeah.
I mean, maybe you could ask for more than that. Maybe you could get him more than that. I don't know. You know,
like a 320-pound nose tackle.
No, I'm saying like time with the defensive line or whatever.
Oh, more than 90 minutes.
Yeah, they are going to have a defensive line coach at some point after the new year here. But it does seem like he likes this part. He feels like it's important, and you know, so maybe we're giving him the freedom to do if he devotes his time to a football manner, then he could use his time, whatever gift that is, then he could use his time however he'd like.
Yeah, and in that same vein, I will skip ahead to this one.
Okay.
And say, for Anthony Gargano, Rhule's podcast co-host, and for Athletes First, his agency that produces the podcast, an amended schedule that allows the coach to divide his time in a way so that it doesn't appear he has prioritized things outside of football over coaching the game.
Okay, so we're both big on this. Now he's going to open up these gifts, and he's going to be like, "Hey, are you guys trying to tell me something?" You know, it's like you get like 5 gifts in a row at Christmas, and they all are like stuff that makes you smell good,
similar themed. Yeah,
and you're like, "Oh my god, do I smell bad? What's the deal here?" So maybe we got a little bit of that going on.
I will say, on a serious note about this topic, that I don't believe that Matt Rhule doing a podcast in any way took away from his ability to coach Nebraska football. But I think he's spoken this month about reshaping his priorities and doing and how he should have done some things a long time ago. And in this instance, you can find that perception is reality. And it does appear at times that he's spending moments on items like his podcast and Pat McAfee that could be devoted to doing the things that he says that he wants to do. So I think some more balance there would be good for Matt Rhule in the new year.
For me, it's not. It's less about the time management thing because I don't really know, and you know he has the ability to, you know, I think handle all that stuff pretty well. It's just to me like the emphasis that he has on the way the program is like presented from the outside looking in, or the way the program looks, or the perception of it, or the way, or what people are saying about it. Like, I think it's like, I just think that comes from what you create on the inside, and then people are going to say good things about it if it looks good from the outside. You don't have to like manipulate the way that people think about it just by appearing on all these things and doing these podcasts. Like, I think that's doing too much. So that's where I'm at on that.
I think everything from the glasses to the hat to the schedule to all that we discussed there about Matt Rhule is one big gift tied up under a bow, sitting next to the tree for him to open today.
Yeah. Mitch, we have a few more big ticket items, big gifts underneath the tree. We also have some stocking stuffers for some various other figures around the Nebraska athletic department. We will get to all those as we continue on the Locked On Nebraska podcast. But first, a gift for me and for you. NFL Sundays move fast, and one play, suddenly everything feels a little bit different. That's what makes live betting with FanDuel so exciting. You're not just watching the game, you're reacting to it and with it in real time. So those live spreads and money lines are going to adjust accordingly as the games go on Sundays. And we're talking about high stakes stuff in week 17 and 18 of the NFL season. You could bet next touchdown scores, drive results, totals, and more. It's going to keep you locked into every single snap, every drive, every possibility. So we want to get you square in the middle of the action. Head to FanDuel.com, place your NFL live bets for the rest of the season and into the postseason. FanDuel, the game moves fast, and so can you.
All right, thanks for making Locked On Nebraska your first listen of the day, and thanks for making Locked On, the #1 sports podcast. Mitch Sherman, Connor Happer with you. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. It is Christmas Eve. We are going through our make-believe and wishful lists of gifts for everyone around Nebraska football and Nebraska athletics to receive in the 2026 calendar year. All right, Connor, do you have anything that you would like to add as a follow-up to our lengthy discussion about Matt Rhule's gifts?
Not exactly. It's kind of mildly related in a way.
Okay. Let's have it.
So I wish I had a prop for this. I mean, it's juice. Like this, let this represent juice. Okay. And this is for the whole football program. Cheers to you. Something that gives it a little spark on game day, something, or any of the days in between. Maybe, highlighting big personalities and letting those guys sort of be themselves instead of, putting people in those positions just because they're supposed to be, because they're the quarterback, for example, something like that. I think that helps, but just need a little bit of energy, a little bit of spice inside of the walls of that program.
I think all you needed to say was juice, and that explained it. That explained it very well. Okay, I have a gift for Rob Orich, Nebraska's new defensive coordinator, and this involves Roy Manning and Phil Simpson too. Manning being the new edge rushers coach, and Simpson being the current or the 2025 edge rushers coach. A defensive line coach hire in January who is inviting and truly accepting of the head coach's need to scratch his itch and work directly with the players in practice. I think the chemistry that Nebraska is seeking on that defensive line among the players and among the coaches is going to be very important for the ability to turn that group in a hurry next season.
Yeah, I think that matters for sure. Staff chemistry is a really big deal. And you don't know, like the problem is you don't know how it's going to be until it's actually there, until you've done it a little bit. So I can't wait to see that from everything that we've seen from the outside looking in to this point, that will most certainly be the case, and a gift well given, I think, at this point.
Yes. Okay.
You got one
on
for
to the
Dana?
next. I do have a gift for Dana Holgorsen. Yeah, that would be an Emmett Johnson clone for him to find in the portal next month.
Okay.
Someone who runs and creates plays and has the same kind of attitude and endurance and chip on his shoulder that Emmett Johnson played with throughout the 2025 season.
Okay, so I have one for Dana as well. I love that. We can talk to Tom Brady about cloning Emmett Johnson, since Tom is familiar with cloning, apparently.
Yes. I don't know if he's moved on to people yet, but it's coming.
So this one is I'm going to try and give Dana Holgorsen. I don't know how this would be packaged. And maybe it's not so much a physical thing as it is an idea, but
all right.
I want to give Dana Holgorsen the full ability to do whatever he wants with the vehicle that he has been given the keys to. I would like to, it's that idea was the case going into last year, but I never felt like him and Dylan Raiola really fit together as a pair. And so now he's going to get, the ability to, I think, pick out the ingredients a little bit or help pick the ingredients as far as, what his offense is going to look like, talking about the players. And then he can actually run his offense, which I'm excited about because I think Dana Holgorsen is a historically really good offensive coordinator.
I have a question based on that wish right there. Do you think that Holgorsen's inability in 2025 to cook with all of the ingredients that he brought to the table was more directly a result of things that the head coach wanted him to do? That's option A. Or option B is the struggles that the Nebraska offensive line had in allowing him to do the things that he wanted to do.
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, I would throw Dylan into that too. Just the things that Dylan wasn't able to do, or maybe wasn't able to do as fast as they wanted him to do in that second option there. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if we'll ever have the answer to that. I think I would guess that it's more just, shortcomings of the players that they had. Mm-hmm. But I know that Rhule is, he wanted to protect his defense, and like I always felt like if they would have gone faster, and if they would have, taken the governor off a little bit more, then the offense, there was more wood to chop. There was more meat there for the offense to get to in 2025. So I think it goes both ways a little bit, but I don't know. So I don't know what it looks like in 2026, but hopefully it looks a little bit more streamlined.
I won't offer an answer to that question because I'm not sure. I threw it out as a hypothetical. I don't have the answer there.
Yeah.
Okay. For Jeep Wade, this is a gift for Nebraska's new offensive line coach. 3 starting caliber linemen new to the program. Wherever they can find them, it would seem to be the portal would be the likely route that those linemen would take to arrive at Nebraska. So there you go. 3 of them, I think, is what Nebraska needs heading into 2026.
What a gift. I mean, it's going to be possible without really thinking about it all that much, that somebody will come up from the lower parts of the depth
within the
chart.
ranks. Oh,
yeah. So maybe you only need 2 or whatever it might be.
Oh, I still think 3. I don't think you can go into a season and say, all right, we got 5 players who are capable of starting on this line right now, because we see what these seasons look like and how injuries, well, they're just unpreventable at the offensive line spot. As the season goes on, you get into, and next year is a season with only 1 bye week. And when you get deep into that, you're going to have injuries. So if Nebraska has 2 in the program right now who have proven to be starting caliber that return in 2026, and you add 3, that's not enough. You're going to have to develop a couple of them who can get up to the level where they're ready to play. At least a couple of them. Like you'd like to have 8 if you're Jeep Wade at the beginning of August.
I have a gift for Memorial Stadium.
Yes.
New life by way of significant reconstructive surgery starting at some point in 2026.
You want the operation to begin in 2026. I hear you.
Starting in 20, it could be a several year long situation here, but I would like the operation to begin at some point in 2026. Yes.
Let's get it off the ground and get it started. Okay, I have one more for this is someone or a coach, player, administrator who's directly related to Nebraska football, and that is for TJ Lateef. And the gift is for 2 teammates. My wish for TJ Lateef is 2 teammates from the portal who play the same position as him and are neither so much more experienced than Lateef that it's a foregone conclusion who will start in 2026, nor so far behind in experience and or talent that Nebraska goes into the season unable to have options that it needs at the quarterback spot. So they have to thread the needle there with 2.
That may be the most specific gift that we've had so far. It's going to be very difficult to find that, but there's a lot of websites out there. You'd be surprised at the stuff that you could find on the internet.
And these gifts will have to come from the portal, but the internet is also an option.
You can customize just about anything, right. You come up with a website like build a portal quarterback, and it's like, all right, he doesn't have too much experience, and he's but like he's good. There's a future there, but he's not like so good that TJ Lateef is going to get dwarfed by all this stuff. Very, very specific, but that's why the internet exists.
Okay, when we come back, we have more gifts for others outside of the football realm at Nebraska, and maybe Connor's got another one for football. I have one for Nebraska football fans. That's coming up next.
All right, we're back.
We are.
Here we go. I have one for fans as well, so let's do that. Let's get our fan gifts out of the way. This is for you all. I will bestow upon the fan base patience and acceptance. Okay, so acceptance that
is this straight from the Christmas Eve service on the.
Yes. Okay. This is what I'm blessing you with. All right, so acceptance that not everything is going to seem like it's the best thing ever in the moment, right? Nebraska doesn't have to have the best defensive line coach or the best, whatever it is. Acceptance that it takes a little bit of time, and then that's where the patience comes in as well. I'm not saying that you have to sit there idly by as you watch the football program just do the same thing over and over again. I'm not saying that there shouldn't be urgency, but like we don't have to over scrutinize every single little minutia part of the decision making that happens inside that program. So just sit back and let it kind of take place.
I have a gift for Nebraska football fans. Dates for the games. These are fans who like to travel and leave the state of Nebraska. Dates for the games that Nebraska will play in 2026 against Illinois, Iowa, Michigan State, Oregon, and Rutgers. We know Iowa, but the other 4, Illinois, Michigan State, Oregon, and Rutgers. Give us some dates and some opportunities to make travel plans, said the Nebraska fans on Christmas Eve.
In this case, you are telling the Big Ten to give the fan base a gift, which is good. I like it.
Okay, what's next?
All right. So we have a bunch of gifts now. These are what we're calling stocking stuffers for the remainder of the Nebraska. A lot of Nebraska basketball related ones here. Sam Hoiberg to have the ball in his hands in the final minute of an NCAA tournament game with a chance to ice it away. Sam Hoiberg is the guy we want this for. We don't want it for Jamarcus Lawrence. We don't want it for Berke Buchton-Gel. We want it for Sam.
That was my wish as I put this list together, was for Sam Hoiberg to have the ball in his hands and the chance to ice it, or just to have the ball in his hands with Nebraska in control. Maybe the Huskers are up by 14 points in the final minute of an NCAA tournament game, and it's stress-free. But yes, that's as the new year dawns, I wish that for Sam Hoiberg more than anyone else on the roster. But I do have wishes for others on the roster, including Rink Mast. I wish for him a very soft bed with a pillow top cushion and a spa and a massage whenever he needs it, because his ability to stay healthy and fresh holds the key for Nebraska to achieve what it set out to achieve in this year, and what it has set out to achieve for many, many years and has not been able to do.
Yeah, I think we would give him like, those gifts that I mentioned earlier where they're trying to tell you something. Like I would get him like a towel or something.
Mm-hmm.
He's very sweaty. I don't think it's a problem for the record, but if he wants to manage the sweat,
not a problem.
It's not a problem. Don't put it on the internet that I thought it was a problem. But I could get him. If he wants to manage the sweat thing at all, we could get that for him.
Two very quick stocking stuffers I have here for Fred Hoiberg. A seed higher than 8 win, higher than 8, so 7 or higher on Selection Sunday. And for Kent Pavelka, a soft landing spot for him if he falls out of his chair at any point in the next 3 months.
Yeah, if he just so happens to pass out, or as he's been predicting for all these years, just put the padding underneath him. Okay, so you want in between. Fred wants in between 6 and 3. Those are the seed. If you could somehow land in between 6 and 3, those are the ideal spots for the NCAA tournament. I don't think you want 7. Obviously, is better than 8, but if you could get in between 6 and 3, that provides opportunity for advancement. So that's where you want to be.
I mean, that's definitely the traditional logic coming into the tournament. If you're, say, somebody who has worked with another Division I team in the state of Nebraska and tends to seek Sweet 16 appearances year after year after year, then that 3 through 6 is absolutely the ideal landing spot. Mm-hmm. Nebraska, I don't think 7 is quite as bad as it might be for most programs, because if you can just get the first win, you have slayed an incredibly large dragon, and everything else after that is just gravy.
10s are tough though. If you're a 7, 10s are tough.
True.
Sure. Not that 11s and 12s aren't, but they're all good around that time of year. But yes, get one out of the way, and then everything else, like you said, is gravy.
Okay, I got one more that I got to get off my chest. This is for the social media savvy Nebraska basketball fans. I want for them something to hang their hats on so they don't have to troll fans of the other team every time that Nebraska wins a game. I think that it's still kind of cute, a little bit funny to see their creativity, but fans of teams that actually win when it counts, they get their enjoyment from celebrating accomplishments on the court without rubbing it in the faces of their opponents. So when it becomes annoying and obnoxious for Nebraska basketball fans on social media to do their little thing that they do, then you know that your team has made it, and that is my wish for them.
Interesting. So are you calling for the meme parade to end? You think they should just move on to the next thing?
Because I think when it ends, then you know that you've gotten past that place. That's like a little spot in the trajectory of team building, of program building that Nebraska has forever occupied, and it has been unable to get past that. You don't see Duke fans doing that, and they are every bit as passionate, more so probably, than Nebraska fans. You don't see Nebraska volleyball fans feeling the need to do that, because they expect to win. They expect to be in that position, and it wouldn't be fun to then go rub it in the faces of their opponents.
Maybe, Nebraska has traditionally not been a power, and this is how they carve it out, right? Like the Nebraska is the meme team, and I don't think it's bad.
That is my wish for them to no longer have to be the meme team.
Yeah, right. That is what you're saying. I think I understand what you're saying. But it is it's a personality trait that I think is really interesting and befitting, I think. And I don't say that in a bad way. I really don't. Like I think it's funny that basically I get enjoyment out of it after every game, especially when I end up my face ends up in the comments a whole bunch. So this is I like the meme train. Keep it going.
Okay, I think it's funny too, but at some point it becomes something more than funny. Okay. Do you have any additional basketball wishes that you would like to bestow on Nebraska?
No, but it looks like you have a whole nother bag here for women's basketball and volleyball. So go ahead.
I do. I have a couple for women's basketball. For Amy Williams, a healthy Natalie Potts. Perhaps you can expound on that and what's happening there. And is that in the cards in early 2026?
I think they'll probably give it a shot within the next few weeks here. We'll see. It's just a matter, like, you don't want to rush it because they're obviously pretty solid without her at this point, and you want to just get her to the point where she's, good to go by the time the games are really important. So my guess would be they give it a shot within in the month of January at some point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I hope for this next one that it doesn't get me in trouble. I will say that this is a wish that I am relaying on behalf of my wife and daughter, because I don't really have a whole lot of reason to talk here about this. This is for Britt Prince, Nebraska's star sophomore point guard. I wish for her to have a TIY. I had to look that up. A TIY ponytail holder. It's a craze that's sweeping college volleyball because Jarrett Elliott, the Texas coach, and his wife invented a device that allows the players to apparently do something with their hair that just makes everything right in the world when they play their sport. And I am told from people who watch Nebraska women's basketball and who understand hair and things like that, that Britt Prince should look into it.
Okay. She wears a headband, okay. So what is this? They invented a hair clip?
Well, it's not a clip. It's like some special thing that allows you to put your hair into a ponytail, and everything just it all works with the way that they swing at the ball, and I think it would work for hoops too.
I'm seeing it now. Okay, interesting. It just looks like a normal hair tie for me. I think Britt,
it's definitely her signature. I get it.
Yeah, it's part of her charm. It's part of her thing. Like, she's kind of flying around out there, like, and her hair is just like, along for the ride.
Do you ever hear it? Do you ever hear complaints about it at games behind you in the seats? So this is only happening at my house. This is only happening
from behind me, but I don't think that.
It's only happening at my house then, apparently, where people think that I think part of the issue that some in my family, and I'll just throw them out there, my wife and my daughter have, is because they think it would just be so uncomfortable and sweaty to play with your hair everywhere like that.
It definitely, I'm sure it would be, but obviously I cannot attest to this.
Yes. Myself as well. So we should just probably stop talking about women's hair.
Yeah, but that's good. You made sure that it was from others, they had the permission to talk about it.
I just want them all to be comfortable and to be able to play their best.
Comfort. That's what we're giving as a gift.
For Danny Busboom Kelly, a second outside hitter who can terminate and give Nebraska another option alongside Harper Murray at that spot, and a giant batch of vitamin C to distribute among her team next December when cold and flu season hits right at the start of the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, you got to keep that. You got to keep that stocked up, man. You never know when it's going to hit. Tough.
I have one for a few of her players next season. I mentioned Murray, but also Bergen Riley, Andy Jackson, and Lainey Choboy. Pieces of the net around their neck next year in December when all is done in San Antonio at the Final Four.
Yeah, they're going to be on a mission. So, like you said, keep that vitamin C on hand and give it a run.
And then I have one for Will Bolt, the Nebraska baseball coach, and that's a season that starts on a good note instead of what we've seen the past couple of years, where they're digging themselves out of a hole come the turn of the weather, and then a home regional in June for Nebraska baseball, something it's been unable to attain in the Bolt era.
Yeah, since what, 2008 maybe was the last time.
Has it been that long? My goodness.
Yeah, I think that was the last time Nebraska hosted a regional. Like Erstad didn't do it, and Bolt hasn't either. So, God, that'd be cool. That would be awesome to get some. I mean, first of all, it's good just because the Big Ten season is so cold usually, or at least at the very least spotty. So, if you get into late May, which a regional would be in, or the first part of June, you're guaranteed awesome weather and a green field and a huge crowd and a good team and multiple good teams coming in. God, that'd be so cool.
A green field for TV and the sun shining down on Haymarket Park, 90-degree weather. That's what Will Bolt needs to really make that thing hum in Lincoln.
Beautiful. All right. Well, I feel like we've been very generous with our gift giving. Maybe not everybody will like their gifts because they'll think that we're trying to tell them something, but that's okay. Hope everybody has a Merry Christmas, and we'll talk to you in just a couple days. And if we made your Spotify Wrapped, you can prove it on social media to secure a free month of our brand new Everydayer Club. On video, on YouTube, we're sending you to the first ever 24/7 National Locked On Podcast Network YouTube channel. On audio, make sure you make your second listen Locked On College Football, and we'll talk to you after the holiday.
Merry Christmas.